Well, I've noticed something that I don't like. You see this dark edge here? And part of that dark edge is my pencil line. I should have lightened it before I did anything more to this. Oh, let's see. Don't have the right brush. My little flat will do. Let's just turn this sideways. I'm gonna try to work a little of that out. The pencil line won't go away, but where the colors overlap, what I'm winding up doing here is I'm actually pulling some of the gray up and getting it into this background. If I get some runbacks and some spots going on this, that'll be great because I've got rocks there. Another happy accident. I should tell you I planned it that way, right? Okay, so that edge, whoops, right up here is not too good. Now that edge isn't so strong. In fact, oh my, it doesn't even exist. That's not too good either. Actually, if you look at the photo and you squint, the difference between here and here in value is almost the same. The color is about the only difference. And I have killed the color difference now. Well, I may come back and play with that. In fact, I will. It's no problem. Okay. I think that this part down here stayed dry. I think. Okay, so we can see that once this got dry, oh my goodness, look at the difference between that wonderful color and this. Actually, this is all pretty poor compared to that. That's just beautiful. Well, let's just go over this again and get it darker. And then who knows, I may go back and deepen some of this up in here at some point, or I may not. And some of that, again, when you're working and you've got your project tilted like this, you may have beautiful rich color, and then as you do this, you're draining some of that color down forward. I believe that for a little ways in here, this area actually looks a little bit greener. The difference is slight, but we could make it more pronounced, if anything, simply because that's more entertaining. I think I've still got it too weak. See, even I can be too timid. Let's see, I was just talking about y'all being too timid. Some of you, not all of you are too timid. Most of you are little, at least in class. You know, there's a difference between being in a classroom and being on your own at home. You might be taking more chances at home, and I just don't know about it. I have got a big splash there that looks a little funny to me. So just because I've got masking down doesn't mean that that's the final shape by any means. I'm going to put a little more drama in this. So that's some pretty color, but as we get down this way, we need a little bit of that brownish stuff mixed in. Maybe just a little of it. Remember, we're seeing down into, excuse me, we're seeing down, oops, I got it on my rocks. Well, so what? Down to the bottom a little bit here. And then right here, I did some nice kind of streaky shapes in here. So I'm going to paint some color down in here, and I don't know how that's going to look. This part is going to look pretty good, I think. That, I don't know. Okay, let's see. I could have had more water splashing up on this. Okay. So the thing to do now is to, let's see. I'm trying to think where I could go next without having to make any changes. So I've got this color, but yeah, I need it to be darker. Here's more brown. Here's a lot more blue. Let's see. We're going to have to pick up a lot more blue out of the well, because we want this gray actually to have a bluish cast. Something like that. You know, this little flat brush might be just great for working in here, because I like a flat brush in part because you can change the direction of that brush and get some kind of angular shapes. Although this is pretty much filled in. So let's see, here comes a little shape right along here. And then there is a shape coming kind of like this. Remember, this is your rock formation. You're the artist. Okay, so I have a problem. The problem that I have is that the color I have down here and the color that I have just put down are too dissimilar. I'm going to let it dry before I decide what I need to do. So down along here, near the bottom, we're going to keep this pretty dark. It actually has a little bit lighter area in there, but the thing is, that'll get rid of some of my awkward overlap down here. See, this is the point where if we were in class, I would tell you, okay, now go do more of that, instead of continuing to work in front of you. So if you want to yawn or take a nap or go ahead and go to work, please do. I won't be insulted, in part because I won't know about it. Okay, that is kind of working for me, except the color. And until this is dry, I'm really not going to make any changes in the color. Let's just make that whole area dark there. And I might just throw in a couple of small spots in here. We need one right there. Okay. You know, that's almost working for me. I don't like this shape here. It's a little too much like the top of a house. Okay, see, this is beginning, as this dries, this is beginning to get weaker, and I'm seeing some of the underneath color coming through. So it's really kind of hard to make a judgment on this yet. I'm gonna take this where there's a little bit more brown in it as I come forward. And this little rock has got all kinds of strange shapes to it. Maybe it's because it's got more erosion that's happened to it. Now that's not a bad color there. So right now we are working on rocks. I had planned to have you go get the credit card and do the credit card thing, but I think this is more entertaining. You know, I could weaken this just a little bit. You can see this is totally unsatisfactory where the water meets this area. There's got to be something smarter going on there. Let's let it get dry first. But you know what? That coming back and dampening it just a little bit before it's all the way dry and blotting gives us a little bit more variation without too much work. Maybe I'll pull a little of this color over that way, soften a couple of edges. You know I didn't soften any edges. You know I'm always softening edges. So that's another thing. We don't always think to do everything that would be best all at once. Unless we're experts, and I'm not at this. Give me a face any day. People think if you can paint a portrait, you can paint anything. It's not true. This is a whole other thing. So let's just do a little water there, maybe a little blot here and there. Those rocks there are they're starting to be kind of convincing already. Okay. See, I can't wait to get to, see that blue right there? There's that deep, cold, ultramarine with some brown in it. There's our bright turquoisey mixture. And then here's this sand color. Wow. Okay. So, the rest of this video is going to be about painting in these rocks some. Now, this rock has to go in front of the rock. I mean, behind this other rock. So, at some point, I'm going to separate those a little bit just by value. And in the picture, let's see, I don't know which one's which anymore, but in the picture maybe that doesn't stand out that different, but I'm going to make it like this next rock. There's one rock stacked in front of another rock again. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this rock darker at the bottom. And then as I come upward on it, I'll get a little bit lighter. I am going to soften this some. I want that rock to be a little darker than that. But you see, that makes the back rock in front of this rock. So on and so forth. So here we have another of the same situation. Okay, yeah, I'm having fun making rocks. Now, this rock, see, I put a little bit of the beginnings of a shadow in there. And then there's this rock, which, oh, this rock goes pretty bluish. My, because it's in this deep blue shadow area. So I added more blue into this. I should add a little more blue into that too. I think I'm going to just have to do a blue layer. I'm making little strokes with a shape to them, kind of coming off, because it's kind of what I'm seeing there. Yeah, just add a little more dark right there. Yeah, okay. That's kind of working for me. So we're just working with primarily with ultramarine and burnt umber. And we're varying the amount of burnt umber a little bit as we go. Just go by what you see. Don't worry about what you see me doing up here. Some people have tried to follow me almost stroke by stroke because I'm on video and so they can. And it inhibits them and causes them more problems. Don't try to do the exact same thing I do. Pick up the spirit of it, the idea of it, and then go from there. See, I think I'll take just a little more brown here. Oops. A lot more brown. Maybe I'll just add a little more. Oops, not enough. A little more brownishness out here. I want this rock to stand out. And to make this rock stand out, it's got to be dark. So I don't really want a strong highlight on the top. Why is that? Well, that's because I have all this foam hitting it, and that's going to be quite dramatic. I'm going to leave these little sparkles in here because actually those will make extra little highlights when that's dry. I'll wash a little of the color back over them. So let's go down here to this rock. Some of this is going to be way too weak to suit me, and I'm going to have to come back and add more color. And I definitely don't have my splashes the same as what's in the photo. I tried to get the general spirit of the thing again, not exact replicas. See, I'm adding a little water here to make that a little lighter there. Now, I don't know that I'm going to keep it that way, but yeah. It's not set in stone. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's pick up a little more blue. A little more blue or a little more brown, whatever will contrast with what I've already got here. Well, I don't have a contrast at all. So let's pick up more blue. And I'll try to put the paint in a little more heavily right here so that I've got a dark, see, behind a lighter area so that we can find the rock. Again, I approximated the shapes on these rocks, but I did pay attention to the individual rocks. But then I was having so much fun just putting lines down. Because drawing can be a lot of fun when you're not worrying about it too much. So here I'm coming back with browner and a little bit lighter. Kind of left a little bit of a line around there because I don't know if this other one's dry enough. Okay, now something is really beginning to happen here. Some of the rest of this, I might come in now and get some stronger darks going. So I think, I've got to check, but I think that this is part 3. And I will do a part 4 tomorrow morning. So it should be up tomorrow. I apologize for this, but the way I have to do it because of my iPad that I photograph with, I have to do this in shorter pieces. So, see, I put those darks in there. Let's just, I really like the way these are looking. That's where I added more browns in. So I've got almost a dark midnight blue. That's what's his name? It's dead. The guy that does the happy little things. He had a midnight blue, he called it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like what's happening there. I like what's happening here. Ooh, look at those runbacks there. Well, they don't look good at all. I wonder what would happen. It's too late. Let's just add a little more blue here. I gotta hurry. I don't want this thing getting too long. If it gets real long, it takes it a whole lot longer to unload. I don't know. There's something about it. For water that's off in the distance, that's too big a waves. On the other hand, it's nice to see a little action there. That feels good. And when it feels good, sometimes I just go ahead and do more of it, even if I know better. Okay. That's too much. Back here. There. Well, it's a little choppier, see. Okay. That's it. This is the end of... Oh. This is the end of part 3.